Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been terrible. I said I'd do a pregnancy Q&A like 4 months ago, maybe even longer. And obviously my intention was to do first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, but now we're already in third trimester, a few weeks away from giving birth. So I just thought I'm going to go through all of your questions. Well, not all of them, just like the most asked questions, and just go through those because some of them are really good and I know you guys want to know because I get so many messages about it, and I just wanted to sit down today and take the time to answer them all. My dog suddenly started like eating loads of grass. Anyway, okay, so something that was a really big question is what am I doing to reduce stretch marks? So Weleda, I've always loved their products, but I've been using their stretch mark body butter. As you can see, there's not much of it left, and they've also got a more of like an oil consistency, which I like to use especially when I've been on holiday. I just find that it's easier to kind of rub into the skin. I also got this perineum massage oil. If you don't know what that is, then you need to look that up because I've got to start doing that shortly. Maybe not today, but in the next couple of weeks I just need to have a look at how to do it. It's basically to reduce the chances of tearing in the downstairs region, if you get my drift. So yeah, I'm gonna be using those products, which I'm really excited because they have like a mum range, which is really nice, organic, natural, really good for your skin. So yeah, that's what I've been using. How long did it take you to get pregnant? This was by far the most asked question because I spoke quite a lot about the fact that it wasn't just like that for Mark and I. We were trying for a little while and it was honestly the most frustrating thing, and I think so many people can relate to thinking that things are just going to be really easy. It's like something that you kind of grow up and people are always like, oh, don't get pregnant, use a condom, it can happen so quick. It just happens as soon as you look at someone, you get pregnant. So I think when I came off the pill, I think I'd been off the pill for like a year and a bit. I'd been using natural cycles. I was tracking kind of when I was ovulating, and then I was also using ovulation sticks. That wasn't working either. This is really important actually, and I really wish this was accessible on the NHS, but it's not. I was seeing a health lady called Pippa Campbell, and she was honestly fantastic and so crucial to getting kind of, especially like helping me on my fertility journey. So I had a test called the Dutch test, and for those of you that don't know what that is, I didn't know what it was. It basically, you pee on a bit of parchment every single day and it will track your major hormones, so testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, something else, a few other things. Anyway, it's a really extensive test, and ignore the dog. And normally, I think what happens is you go to a clinic, say, I've been trying for a few months now, nothing's happening, and they take a snapshot on one day of what your estrogen's looking like, of what your progesterone's looking like, of what your testosterone's looking like. And, when I spoke to Pippa, she was kind of explaining that it's not an accurate view of your levels of hormones throughout the month, with periods, with everything else going on in the female body, diet, nutrition. So yeah, I did the Dutch test last July. I remember actually because I was away, and yeah, I was still taking it, and I basically had no testosterone and no estrogen. So that was really great. But obviously it completely explains why I wasn't getting pregnant. Like, you physically can't get pregnant with those kind of readings, which I just wish I knew in the first place, because then there are so many things that you can do, supplements, diet, all these different things. But unless you actually are given the confidence to have these tests or the knowledge, then you can kind of be trying for quite some time and not really know why it's not happening. And it can feel really defeating and really sad, and just really frustrating. So I'm going to leave her link below, actually. And normally she gives me a little cheeky code, so I will see if I can get a code for you, because it's not cheap, these tests. And also kind of speaking with Pippa and her amazing team. I've also been speaking to a specialist on Pippa's team called Lou, and they're not cheap, but I would say it's cheaper than having to find out further down the line when you're more desperate to have children and it's something that's really, really important to you. I would always urge people to get those tests kind of a couple of months before. Maybe they're thinking that the time is right, just so you can be prepared, just so you can see if there's any niggles, if there's any imbalances that need addressing kind of ahead of you starting a fertility journey. But yeah, I don't think there's enough support out there for women who are trying to get pregnant, which is a real shame. But yeah, really glad that I found Pippa and her team and Lou, who have been so helpful. And so yeah, I really hope they can help you guys. I've literally recommended so many of my friends. My mum sees Pippa about her thyroid problems. There's a few of my other friends who see Pippa about thyroid problems as well. So it's not just fertility, but for me, it was, they were hugely, I can't even think of the word. My brain is not working. Impactful, that was the word I was looking for. They were super impactful on helping me fall pregnant. So yeah, the short answer to that, how long did it take us to get pregnant? I think it was 10 months officially. Well, yeah, it was 10 months. We decided December 2021 that we were going to start trying. And then, yeah, we kind of started crack-a-lacking. And yeah, it was so mad because actually the month that we ended up conceiving, so last October, we literally had sex twice. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I thought, what have we been doing? Having sex that much this year. God, what a waste. Have you been advised that cramps in the first trimester is bad? So in my first trimester, I cannot tell you, I had such bad stomach cramps. So I have quite bad period pains anyway, but I was having like shooting pains every single evening. I'd be asleep, it'd be in the middle of the night, I'd had shooting pains. Like I kind of thought that I might have had an ectopic pregnancy. That was actually my first concern, because it was really painful. I was having like sharp stabbing pains. I was vomiting every evening and also had the shits. So that was really fun. For the first trimester, it was just awful. But then during the day, I was so much better, and I kind of only threw up on the odd occasion, like during the day. But a few of my friends have that hyperemesis, whatever it's called, where they are being sick all day long. So I thought, I'm not going to complain because I feel like I've got it relatively easy. But yeah, I had a lot of stabbing pains, which I wasn't kind of sure if that was a symptom of pregnancy or a symptom of like something a bit more sinister. But yeah, I actually had stabbing pains for the first like 8 to 10 weeks, and that was normal for me. So yeah, if you're having cramps, it could be nothing, but I think it's always good to get checked. We actually had an early scan, I believe. I think we had the 8-week harmony test, so we had a scan, and they checked and everything was fine. Okay, where did you buy your maternity clothes from? I genuinely just I haven't really bought too many maternity clothes. I got sent some amazing maternity clothes from Bumpsuit, which I'm actually wearing now, and then I've just sized up and everything because I don't want to waste my money on maternity stuff. Also, most of it's really ugly. What breast pump would you recommend? So I have the LV pumps, and I also really need to get is it called a hookah? Anyway, my friend Sydney Crouch, she was like, you need to get a hookah or something. You basically put it on your other boob that you're not breastfeeding from, and it kind of gets it going on the other one. And then she also recommended the Medela. So I'm going to have a look into that as well, which apparently is a bit quicker. But the LV pump is supposed to be really, really good if you're on the move and wanting to pump in public and whilst you're working and on the go, because it's completely silent, it's really discreet. So technology is incredible on that one. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually trying to use that. I have kind of started packing my hospital bag, but I am actually looking to do a home birth, which is really exciting and I can't wait. I just feel like hospital isn't the safest place to give birth. I know so many people are going to be like, what the fuck? You're an idiot. Yeah, I just think it's completely personal preference. I feel quite strongly about it. I also think, you know, as a non-white person as well, it's not always the safest place to be in hospital in childbirth. So yeah, all these things that I've thought about for a long, long time. And yeah, I think home birth is the best option for me. And we're also having a doula as well, which I'm really excited about as well. So we're using this amazing company called the Mindful Birth Company. Specifically, our doula is called Em. She's been so amazing, so supportive. She's had like 3 home births, I think, and 1 cesarean because she was a surrogate for one of her friends, which again is incredible. And yeah, she's been so supportive on this journey too. Especially because I'm kind of the first in my immediate group to have children. The decision to have a home birth was obviously quite a shock to a lot of people around me, including my mum and my partner. So it's been great to kind of speak to somebody who has experienced home birth. I also spoke to Sam Fair. She is like the queen of home birthing. And yeah, it's just fantastic. And she speaks about it so candidly, and she's actually been so supportive as well. And just helping me feel really, really set in my decision. So yeah, that's really exciting. Do you plan on having any pain relief? So when you give birth at home, you can only have, I think, pethidine and a gas and air. So I'm hoping just to do it on gas and air, but I completely understand that, you know, if things go wrong in early labour and my midwife's like, look, I don't think it's looking good, let's go to the hospital, we'll be going to the hospital. That's just my birth preference, but I think it's really important not to be too set in how you think your birth's going to go, because I understand like so many things can happen and it's not always as straightforward as you think. So yeah, I'm just trying to go with the flow, not think about it too much, and just try and do the best that I can. Give myself the best mindset to have a healthy birth, doing a lot of visualization, a lot of positive affirmation, and yeah, just like feeling really empowered to do it. I'm actually really, really, really excited for giving birth, which is actually really weird. And I think so many of my friends are like, what's wrong with you? But I just think it's the most natural thing. And even if you knew nothing, your body just takes over. Like, we've been doing it for centuries. Our body knows what it's doing. And I just think it's just trusting that your body can absolutely deal with childbirth. So yeah. Okay. Names. So this is really hard. We have really disagreed with names. Like, we still do not agree on a name. There's 1 or 2 names that I think we will probably go for. If you don't know, it's a boy. And actually that leads quite nicely onto another one of the questions, which was saying, did you have an inkling you were having a boy? It was actually quite the opposite. I was convinced I was having a girl. I was having dreams I was having a girl. I just was like, I could feel it in my bones. And so in the 20-week scan, like, the lovely midwife or sonographer, she wrote down a piece of paper, and I was so confident it was a girl. I like dragged Mark to go for lunch with me after the scan, because I was like, it's gonna be a girl. Can't wait to open this envelope. And then I literally have it on video, and I just can't bear to share it with anybody because it's so embarrassing, because my face just drops because it says it's a boy, and I was like, what? I was just so confused because I just hadn't even considered for a minute that it might be a boy. So yeah, zero mother's intuition on gender. which was quite funny, because at the time I think it took me like a couple of weeks to even like process that I was having a boy, because I just spent the first 20 weeks being like, oh, it's a girl, and just getting really excited. I had like girl names set. It was, yeah. But do you know what? We weren't meant to have a girl first time round, and so we're having a beautiful baby boy, which I'm now really, really excited about. Let's have a look. Do you worry about losing your body? I had actually so many questions about how am I dealing with like my body changing, and do I feel pressure to bounce back as soon as I've given birth and all of that stuff. I think I completely understand why people struggle, because your body completely changes. You know, you have increased fat at the time when you're pregnant, you get more cellulite, you know, your boobs are increasing in size, your stomach's increasing in size. Like, it can really feel like, I don't know, it's a kind of identity battle, because you're so happy that you're growing a child, but then equally you're like, I don't look like me. And a lot of the time you don't feel like you either, because hormones are crazy. So I would say I was initially worried. I think, especially as I started getting a little bit bigger, I was really, really trying to be positive and just kind of empowering myself and just saying, look, this is such a gift, this is a miracle, you're growing a child, your body's doing some incredible things, and actually my body might never look the same again. I might never be as slim as I once was, but I'm actually okay with that. And I think we as women have so much to do to support each other, that it's okay to not look the same pre-baby. It's so rare, and it's too much pressure. It's way too much pressure. Like, you're literally growing a human. Some little baby is like sucking the life out of you, like all of the hormones, vitamins, all of the goodness from your body. Give yourself some love at those moments where you're feeling a bit uneasy and unsure, and feeling a little bit sad that maybe you'll never see your pre-baby body, but it's still beautiful. I think pregnancy is the most beautiful thing ever. So it's just reminding yourself that you're doing such an amazing thing by creating life. That's the most important thing. And our body is not just to be looked at, and our body is more than something to be attractive. We don't have to be attractive. You know, we birthed a child, and that's the main thing that we are here to do. Not worry about what we look like and how much cellulite we have and how much weight we've gained and all of that stuff. I just think let's just give our body some love, because what it's going through is just absolute madness. So yeah, that's my view on it, and I have no idea if my body will bounce back or not, but I hope this won't be my last pregnancy, so it's not something that's on the top of my agenda, is getting back into shape like that. If I do, cool, and if I don't, cool. How do you get over the fear of birth? Do you know what, that's a really hard one, because I completely understand that birth is a very, very scary thing for a lot of people, including myself. It's not something that I've thought that deeply about until being in the final trimester, because I just thought, what's the point of me worrying about this now? I've got 7 months to go. So now I'm in my 8 months. I'm 34 or 35 weeks. 35 weeks. I think I'm 35 going on 36 actually. So obviously the end is nearing, and I don't know why, but I'm really excited. Like, I'm not fearful. I just trust that my body knows what it's doing. I really feel positively that what will be, even if I end up having a C-section, if I end up going to hospital, if I end up having an epidural, like whatever my birth journey looks like, I just know that I'll be okay. And the main thing is that baby's healthy, and yeah, I want to set myself up with the most positive mindset ever, just to make sure that I can just manage with my breathing, and yeah, take it bit by bit. And I just want to give myself the best possibility to have a calm-ish birth and give myself the tools. Like, for example, I think anyone that's like dealing with a bit of anxiety, especially about birth, I would really highly recommend hypnobirthing courses. It's been so helpful, more just for knowledge. For example, I really know what I want my boundaries to be around the day where I do give birth. For example, you don't have to be induced. Obviously, they have recommendations for you as a woman. If you are over your due date by a certain amount of time, yes, you can be induced. There's an option to be induced. But a lot of people don't realise that as soon as you're induced, that is, you are under surveillance then. Like, you can't just go home and be like, oh, it's not worked and I'm going to leave it a week. Like, no, you will be in hospital and you will have to be observed, and, you know, they then have a certain protocol to follow. So I personally don't want to be induced. Even if I go a week over, 10 days over, 2 weeks over, like, I would just like to do it naturally. I don't want to be poked and prodded, really. I feel like it's such a vulnerable position to be in anyway, as a woman. All of these changes happening to your body, you know, your body's trying to relax, and it's like a really intense feeling of, you know, dilating and dealing with the pain, and you really want to focus on yourself and be in your own little bubble in a safe space. And I don't think having someone kind of fiddle down there, give me an examination down there, all things like that is going to help me progress. So for me, I've kind of set the boundaries with my doula to just say that I don't want that. You know, they can observe through how quick your contractions are, and that can be part of your preference as well. So just make sure that those little things you've spoken to your partner about, make sure your partner knows what your birth preferences are. And yeah, really make the birth whatever you want it to be. Because yeah, everyone deserves the opportunity to have a personalised birth. And yeah, you can be in whatever position you want to be in. And yeah, I hope I answered that question. Would you like more than one child if you could? So yes, in short, yes. I have always, since I was younger, wanted a huge family. I'd love to have 4 or 5 children. 3, 4 or 5. Mark wants 3. I'd like 5, so maybe we'll meet in the middle at 4. I also really want to adopt, so that's something that I'm really passionate about. So I just think there's so many children that don't have a home and that don't have their birthday celebrated, and I don't know, I've never felt like truly loved. So that makes me really sad. And yeah, I would love to kind of start that journey in a couple of years, because that's something that I'm really interested in doing. So I need to do my research on that, because I know that can take a while, but I would like to have a couple of my own, and adopt a couple as well. That's my plan. Is the baby head down? I think my baby has always been head down. I've never, ever, ever been to my midwife appointment and they've said that the baby's breached or the head's like up in the ribs or whatever. He has always had his head tucked into my hip at the bottom, or like head down, since I can remember. So I don't think he either can't be asked, or I don't know, it's just a bit of a tight space in there. He can't do a 360. But yeah, which I'm quite happy about. So fingers crossed he stays that way. And we shall see. I will keep you posted. Everyone's saying eat 6 medjool dates a day from 36 weeks. So apparently dates are supposed to soften your cervix. So I actually started doing that a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just trying to have more dates. But I just hate dates. Genuinely, they are so gross. I love raisins, but for some reason and I've been having prunes and apricots as well, but dates just, so I've been blending them and putting them in a smoothie and trying to have that. So hopefully that works. But there is actual science behind that, so I've been told. So I am gonna keep at it. Okay, there's a lot of questions here actually about holidays, because I have recently been on holiday, and I've been on holiday a few times since being pregnant, 2nd trimester and 3rd trimester. I have not been really that worried about travelling. I feel like babies are a lot more robust than we give them credit for. As long as you have your notes with you and you have extra insurance, health insurance whilst you're away, you're fine. And the only thing I would say is definitely get yourself some socks, because my feet were huge when I travelled, and they were just cankles galore, and they were throbbing. They were so sore. So that's one mistake I did make, is on the whole cankles front. But apart from that, it was fine. Obviously, I have had really painful hips. What's it called? Is it called lightning crotch? I just keep getting like shooting sharp pains in like my pubic bone, and it's most of the time at night time, like, or when I first wake up, and then it clicks, and then it kind of subsides a little bit, but it's not fun. But again, I try not to focus on that kind of stuff. I'm just like, well, what do I expect? My baby's in there, chilling, head down probably, quite heavy on the body. But yeah, I'm just trying to like stretch and bounce on the ball and try and ignore it and cope with it. And have I been paranoid? Have I been worried about what I'm eating? Have I been strict on my diet and all those kind of things? So I guess I'll round this off with just talking about like different foods that you're supposed to avoid, which I haven't. So since the start, I think first trimester, I was a little bit more worried, just because obviously you're more likely of miscarriaging at that time. So I was a little bit more strict. I was really anal about having so many vegetables and fruit and vitamins. So I was like home making my soups. I was having protein shakes. I was like making sure that I had really wholesome meals, like only having like whole foods, trying not to have like processed food and all of that. And then I'll be honest, it kind of went out the window. As soon as I hit second trimester, I was like, yippee! I was like, I passed the test. And so yeah, I've had pate. I actually had a real craving for pate, so I was having pate. I also have had half a glass of wine here and there, every now and then. And what else? Oh yeah, like you're supposed to have your eggs really well done and your steak really well done. Again, didn't do that either. I've had raw fish because I love sushi, and I've always had raw fish and never had a problem with it. But I think it's really personal preference, because again, I don't think I would start eating something that my body isn't necessarily used to, but all of those things my body is very used to. So, and I don't think that they're super harmful in small, I was about to say in small doses, but I think having a bit of sashimi once a month is not going to be super harmful. But again, I'm not a doctor, but I really didn't want to be really anal and fixate on things I can and can't have over the pregnancy, because I don't want to freak myself out. I just want to be chilled. I want to be calm. I don't want to be constantly praying out, oh my god, is this cooked? Oh my god, have I washed these salad leaves as much as I can? Because again, it's kind of stimulating anxiety, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, I've tried to be really super chilled and calm, and just kind of think, well, nothing bad's going to happen. I'm not being irresponsible. I'm not eating raw fish and raw egg every day. It would just kind of be like, if I'm out, if I'm at like a nice restaurant, then if I want to have some raw fish, then I will. But yeah, I completely understand that everyone has a completely different view, and I'm sure that if I had lost a baby in the past, or you know, it had taken me double the amount of time to get pregnant, these things, obviously it's a way more anxiety inducing than it would be for me. So completely understand that everyone's going to have a different opinion on that kind of stuff. And I understand I also have a privilege of not losing a baby prior to this one. So yeah, that's my up 30 minutes. I don't think I'm going to edit this. I think I'm just going to whack it up, because I know that you guys really want to hear the goss, hear the juice. And yeah, I'm sending you guys so much love. And I actually just wanted to say, I've had so many lovely messages, and you guys have actually really, really helped me. with all of the questions and stuff that I've been chatting about. I've had so many messages from mums who have been through a similar thing and are just so positive and just so encouraging and really empowering me to make my own decisions and just go with my gut. And it's just been amazing. I really, really love the mum community. So just thank you so much for your kind support and your lovely words. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I will try and do what's in my hospital bag soon, because I think that would be good. And yeah, I'm obviously packing my hospital bag with the hope that I'm not having to go to hospital, but if I do, then obviously it's there. And then maybe also I will try and do a what's in my nursery, because long story short, we are roof leaked, so our house isn't ready to be moved back into, so we're actually moving. So yeah, we're moving elsewhere for the so which is, you know, unexpected and a little bit stressful, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it, so I'll be okay. But yeah, I might do a little nursery tour. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Would love to hear your feedback on what you think, and yeah, wish me luck.